Hey everyone, it's Lombardowski, founder at $1 Million Party Girl, and I am back live streaming again tonight. I hope I'm not, driving you crazy. But we're talking summer success every day. We have had a tip to help you rock your business this summer. I hope you're following the event. If you don't know where to find it, just go over to our event tab and you will see it there. And tonight we're talking about starting a blog with Laurie Girardi. Hey, Laurie.
Hey, I'm so excited to be here. This is so much fun. And I love that you're doing this event for all the direct sellers out there. I have to say that, I'm following along with each of the trainings. And even if it's not something you thought that you wanted to focus on, it's amazing how a timely training gets you to say, oh yeah, I do want to do that this summer, so I'm ready for the fall. So this is perfect timing and so brilliant of you.
Well, if you guys don't know my background, 27 years in direct sales, at the top of my direct sales company for 25 of those 27 years of top leaders. So I know the struggles. I know how to lead a successful team and what it really takes to keep people motivated when, they're on vacation and the kids are home and you're just trying to get it all done. So I am with you in the trenches, ladies. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I do feel that, it's part motivation, it's part inspiration, it's part how-to. And if we can come together as women and support each other, then, before we know it, summer will be over and you'll be rocking your fall holiday season, which is what my wish is for all of you. And I do want to give a little plug. First of all, shout out to everybody here. Tina's here. Tina says, I hope to get to the top. Tina, we're gonna put that on the screen. I love that comment. So that's where $1 Million Party Girl came. It's a literal translation of the multi-million-dollar direct sales business that I built. And I want everybody to be $1 Million Party Girl.
Me too.
You can all do it, right? You can all do it. That's the best part. Martha's here. Brianna's here. Wendy, Becky, Tina, everybody's coming in. So thank you guys for watching. First thing I want you to do, share this in your team. Share this in your groups, because I know a lot of direct sellers on the bucket list or the wish list is to start a blog. And what better time, summer's a great time to do all those things that have been on your to-do list that keep getting moved to the bottom, especially when your business really starts to kick in gear, like right after convention or conference. You're like, I don't have time now for any of that. So Laurie's really got some really specific takeaways and how-tos to make that happen this summer. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Carol. And if you haven't become a VIP member yet, this is the last 2 days. I'm doing a 50% off special for you guys. It's only $19.97 a month, but you can get it using code VISIONISTALOVE, LUV, because we're sharing the love. So $9.97 for your first month to try it. And I know we have a lot of Visionistas in the watching. Draxie, Priscilla, Rihanna. So if you guys want to comment, feel free to tell everybody why you like being a VIP member. I'll let you guys tell everybody what it's all about. All right, so let's get to it. And if you have questions about starting a blog, make sure you put them in the comments so that Laurie can address them for you tonight. This is, an all access pass. Basically, we've had experts, everybody from direct sales leaders to, direct selling industry experts sharing tips. We still have 2 days left, so we're not done yet. All right. So Laurie, first, let's tell everybody about yourself. You have a long history in direct sales, both, kind of on both sides, in corporate as well as an independent consultant. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about that?
Sure. So my journey was not unlike a lot of people. I didn't, have a grand plan to get into direct selling back when I first learned about it. But I jumped in with both feet and was not immediately wildly successful, or so I thought. But there came a day when I went to a training and they had said, if you don't have any bookings, you don't have a business. And I thought, well, I don't have any bookings. I did those first 4 parties and I don't have any bookings. And so I called the company to find out how I get out of direct selling just as fast as I got in. And they said, you can't quit. You're our number one seller. So that was the beginning of my journey that I thought, well, heck, I think maybe I could be good at this. So I did really, really well in the field, built a pretty good sized team in a party plan company. And then 3 years in, they closed abruptly. So I transitioned from the field to corporate consulting, not, again, part of any grand strategy, but out of luck that I had a great mentor who invited me into her consulting business and, sent me in to work with corporate clients to help their fields learn how to sell, book, recruit, and build extraordinary teams. So that has been what I've done for about the last 10, 11 years. And in that process, I sort of honed in on that selling was turning into part marketing. And this was really going to be an area that was going to be important for somebody to crack the digital code. And so that is what I've been working on for about the last 4 years, is not stopping teaching people how to be smart about selling, booking, holding parties, recruiting, all the core business activities, but how do you layer that digital side on top of it? And that's why we're here now.
Well, thank you so much. And one of the things that, we connected, and it turns out you're in Delaware, I'm in New Jersey, we've had lunch. I was really kind of wrecking my brain around like who is out there in direct sales in the industry that is really very smart and savvy with video. Because, I love going live, and I just think every single direct seller should have their own Facebook Live show.
Totally agree.
You guys it's like home shopping channel. Okay. You've got to do it. And so, I reached out to Laurie. We just are launching Live Stream 101 for direct sellers to teach you guys how to go live. So Laurie's got that techie brain that, she can really help you with not just live streaming, but the whole blogging, the SEO, and you're doing that really well at the National Direct Selling Registry as well.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about 3 blog posts every direct seller needs to create. So why should a direct seller start a blog with everything else they have on their plate?
Yeah. Well, and let's start with that. What I believe from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, that direct selling is still relevant today. If anything, it's more relevant than ever before. If you're in party plan, I'm a firm believer in real live parties, but I'm also a firm believer in leveraging technology in every area of your business, but not so that it becomes a second job, but that it dovetails in, and maybe you add another hour or 2 a week. But if you're really efficient using technology, you save time in other ways where you might not have saved it before. So when we're talking about a blog post that every direct seller needs to create, the first idea is, wait, what? I have to become a blogger now? And my whole thing is, no, you don't have to become a blogger, but you want to be able to create your own original content. So that's the first reason why every direct seller needs to have a blog, is so that they can create their own content that's tied back to them. That when somebody reads a post, that it's in an article, and that the article has your, let's call it your byline at the bottom. So when they say, that's brilliant, yes, I do want that, they can go and click on you, and it's tied back to your contact information and your story, rather than you just sharing all the stuff that either somebody else has created or that your company has created without any way to package it up and bring it back to you. So the first thing is creating original content for your current customers, hosts, team members. So think about the people you already know. And that's the first place where I would suggest everybody starts, is thinking about using what you can package up in an article. So think of an article as words, so stories, paragraphs, quotes, audio files, videos, anything that is content that you can put together in a web page is an article in my book. And when you do that, then you can leverage this nebulous search engine optimization in a way that makes people be able to find you who know you. So if they're just looking to learn a little bit about you, wouldn't it be really remarkable if a couple of blog posts you've published come up? So it's not just the normal stuff everybody else has out there, but hopefully you have a National Direct Selling Registry profile. But then on top of that, you have a couple of blog posts, and they say, what's this? Well, instantly it elevates you to an authority, that you are slightly more invested in your business than the person next to you because you've taken time to think about what do the people I serve need. So that idea of search engine optimization. But I watched your video with Karen Clark yesterday, and I heard
Karen's watching tonight.
Oh, that's so fun. This is like a sorority all over again. Hi, Karen. And I heard you guys talking about, when you think about what should you post, same idea what should I blog about? We'll talk about that in depth later. But the idea is to think about what are people looking for so that when they go to look for something, your article, your blog posts are the ones that pop up as the answers to what they're looking for. So then we've heard all this talk about Facebook jail. And I know you've done a lot of work with helping people avoid Facebook jail. One of the smartest ways to avoid Facebook jail is to create your own original content. And you can do that right in Facebook with original posts and original graphics and original videos. But a smart layer on top of that is to create your own blog posts that then you're sharing to Facebook. And then Facebook says, brilliant, new content. We want people to see this. And then when people literally like or share what you have to offer, Facebook is going to reward you by showing it to more people. And when they click on it, again, think about it as, the internet's a slippery slope and people go down a rabbit hole and never come back. When they click on that article and they read it and they're ready to take action, they're taking action tied right back to you. So you would hopefully keep them in that, the sphere of doing business with you, not just driving them to something on your company's website.
Yeah, it's so smart. And more and more of what I'm reading is, everybody now can become their own media company, right? There's no limits, and you can do it all right here. Yeah. You can have a YouTube channel. The video version of the blog is a vlog.
Exactly.
Right. So there's more than one way to get that done.
And that's exactly so. When we talk about content, imagine we were creating a post and it was to serve our customers. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later. But let's say you did take the time to think about the 3 things, every customer who buys your brand new lip gloss wants to know. All right. Well, you can write about that. You could also do a video with a little demo about that. You could have a little podcast about that. You could have a variety of things. And it's not doing tons and tons of things sort of poorly. It's about thinking, what are the few things I can do really, really well? So if you did a quick little demo video, well, then that can live over there on YouTube. It can be posted to Facebook. You can upload it to Facebook. You could also stream it live to Facebook. You can also stream it live over to YouTube. But once you've done that, why not grab that and put it in a blog article with another catchy title, with some more search engine optimization, with a little bit more detail, again, tied back to you. So now you're covering all your bases. And it was one thought process to create one simple video that once you've done a video, it's easy to then type up a little article about it because you've already thought through what am I going to say about it. So it's not overcomplicating things. It's really actually simplifying them, but making sure that you're the one that gets to stand out and that you have something to serve people with. And that when we talk about what are these free blog posts, that's going to be key, is serving your audience, serving your customers and clients.
And I really want to emphasize what you just said, because I think that is probably one of the biggest obstacles besides the techie part of starting a blog. And I know you have some great solutions for that is, again, finding the time. Where do I get these ideas? And, thank you so much, because everything you just shared is, take one idea.
Yeah.
You could do the 5 best ways to wear makeup this summer, and it could be part 1, part 2, part 3, kind of like we're doing the summer success series.
Yep.
Every single tip can then be turned into something else. So it's really taking one idea and repurposing that, which women are rock stars at. That's what we do great.
Yeah. And it's just about, finding what you're passionate about or what people need and then creating something around that.
Okay. I am going to pop one question up here because I know this is probably what everybody's thinking. Helena's asking, how many posts do you have to have ready before you launch your blog? All
right. So Helena, that leads us right into our next question, which is where could or should you blog? And prior to what I've just embarked on for 4 years, which is to build you a blogging platform that is simple to use, I would have said you have to have a WordPress blog because you have to have all the search engine optimization and all the bells and whistles and a form people can fill out and blah, blah, all this stuff. And that's really complicated. And even if somebody says it's not, it is. Because once you get something like that set up, you have to upkeep it. And it takes time and money and time and more money and time and more money. And most people then just leave it and don't do anything with it. So what I'm going to suggest is that anybody watching this joins the National Direct Selling Registry, and we have our built-in blogging platform for our national, global, and Patriot members rolling out in less than a month. So by the time you get your first 3 blog articles, every direct seller should create written and ready. We'll probably have rolled it out into your profile. And so you can, on our platform, you can start with just 1 article. We're suggesting tonight 3 so that you're capturing different audiences' attention. But think of that 1 article as just one piece of all the amazing knowledge and inspiration you have to offer your audience, and just start with the first one and then move on to the second one and then move on to the third one. Now, if you were creating a blog from scratch where literally you were building a website that's a blog, you probably want to have at least 3 or 4 in your bag of tricks before you launched it. But I'm suggesting you first try out the National Direct Selling Registry so that you can see how easy it can be to drive traffic to you without overcomplicating anything in the process. All right, we're going to keep going because it looks like Lynn has to go do something. How long should a blog be? Okay, so in terms of a blog post, they can be as short as 300 words or as long as 1,500-1,600 words. It depends on what you're trying to say and sort of the purpose of it. And so what I like to do is I like to think through what is the content I want to convey. And we'll talk more about that as we roll out the National Direct Selling Registry's blogging platform. We'll talk about the different pieces you can put into it, but just think of it this way. Some people like to read. Some people like to look at a graphic, sort of that summarizes it in bright, bold colors. And some people like to watch a video. So the more you can think about multiple learning styles whenever you create something, the greater audience that you'll reach. That's the teacher in me that that can't help but think, well, that's really brilliant, but nobody's going to read all those paragraphs. So I probably need to add some, chunky titles in the middle. And if there's 3 steps, I need to make sure that they're bolded in 1, 2, 3 so that they stand out. Things that just make it, think about what's pleasing to you. That's what typically is pleasing to other people as well.
Make it easy to read, right?
Exactly.
A lot of white space in there. So Tina's asking, how long should a blog be? How many words?
Oh, so you got up. I think I was answering that when you were.
Oh, you did see that.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
I was fixing my lighting back there.
I know. I saw that.
It's so dark back there.
Yeah, no, I got that one.
Okay, cool. What was your answer?
That's where I went into it could be as little as 300 words or as long as 15, 16, or longer 100 words. But think multi-sensory, different styles, because some people scan to try to catch the main points. Some people are comprehensive readers. And that's all the type of training when we do launch the blogging engine. Those are the types of blogs I'm going to have to write, because it's the same idea. My audience are the members on our platform. And while sometimes it's, hey, buy a training because it's a comprehensive program, in order to drive smart use of our platform, I'll be creating lots of blog posts on how to create blog posts and how to, not just the technical side, but the sort of thinking it through side as well.
Okay.
So that's an ongoing, that'll be a lot of our content that we'll roll out, is how to be smart about marketing yourself using what we've given you.
That makes so much sense. Yeah. And I know Karen Clark and I were talking last night as you're tuning in about finding those keywords in the SEO. Yeah. And so what do you think about reaching out to a direct seller, reaching out to their customers and finding out, what some of their struggles are, or what some of their concerns are, and that could be their whole blogging content.
Exactly. So that lends us into sort of what should you blog about? And in general, I have 3 words for you. Okay, they all begin with I. So it's I am in charge of this. I am personally accountable. I have to think this through myself. So the first one is inspire. So sometimes you want your blog posts to just inspire people, to share a testimonial or a touching story, or grab at somebody's heartstrings, or make them feel good about something in life. So inspiring blog posts that aren't designed to do anything other than pique curiosity and make people feel good. Then the next one are instructional. So blog posts that instruct people. So first inspire, then instruct. So think of these are your how-to videos, step-by-step guide, a solution, time savers, life hacks, those kind of things. And then the last one are blog posts that are to inform. So think of those if your product line lends itself to stuff people kind of want to know. Like, for instance, if you're in a health and wellness category, you might have blog posts that don't have step 1, 2, 3, 4, but they have, the 4 ingredients that everybody should avoid when they're, at the grocery store, or the Dirty Dozen organic products, or, things like that are really designed to inform, to enlighten people. And so if you think of those as your 3 key sort of, buckets of content, usually one that informs, also you want to inspire a little bit, or one that instructs, has a little bit of information that you might start a paragraph with a did you know. So usually they blend each other, but they typically fall into one of those categories. So I think we should jump into the meat of the 3 blog posts every direct seller needs to create.
Yes.
And these are not like cookie cutter, here's your title. It's really to think of, again, the people you serve or you want to attract. So basically, this is the way I look at marketing as a direct seller. Reverse of what marketing really is, okay? So first, I want you to think about serving and nurturing and cultivating strong relationships with the people who already do business with you. So your current customers, your current hosts, your current team members. Think of them as your, let's call them your audience, but the people that they would benefit directly from anything that you come up with today that you can share with them that is to add value in their relationship with you. And then that same content you can use to go attract new people like the ones you're currently serving. It's much easier to create content when you can imagine. People always say, imagine your avatar. And I'm like, first of all, anytime somebody says avatar, I think of blue people in a movie. But think of like your audience. Well, you already know your audience. You're already doing business with them. And so it's much easier to think about creating content for those folks. So the 3 blog posts fit into really the 3 audiences. Okay, so the first blog post, I have my little notes here just to make sure that
pen and paper. I'll put it on the screen too.
Okay, and as we're doing this, if you're like, come on, I want the whole hour and 15-minute webinar on this, just write webinar in the comments, and then we'll know that you want me to create the webinar that goes with this same exact content. That would just be a little longer, in depth, more examples. All right, so the first one is a post to serve your current customers. Okay, so imagine this. And I was in party plan, so usually my examples all come from an experience I had meeting somebody. They bought product at a party, and now I want to follow up with them. So I'm going to give you like a real, true example. There was a period of time where I stepped back into the field to help a startup, and I got to flex my digital muscles. And it was a product line that was household goods, and they also sold gourmet food items, okay? And I wanted to have a reason to follow up with people that made them want to reach back out to me, or to answer the phone, or to send me a message back. And so the first type of blog post I created, because I whipped up a blog when I did this little excursion back into the field 4 or 5 years ago, and I picked the top 3 products I thought everybody would buy. So if you were curious about something, I'd say, oh my gosh, you have to get one of these, and you should get 2 of those, 4 of those. And I picked one of the food products, and I found the best recipes that the company had created for these products. Okay, so I didn't create my own recipes. I didn't spend 27 hours in the kitchen. And I created a blog post that were the 3 best recipes for blah, blah, blah product. Okay. And now if you bought any of this category of products, I had an immediate link I could text you right after you left the party. Dear Lynn, it was so awesome to meet you. As I mentioned, there's these great recipes. You don't have to worry about digging around for them. Here's a link to a little post I have. And that right there solidified our relationship in a way that made them, then if I followed up with a phone call the next day or the day after when their order shipped and so forth, well, they already felt like I was serving them. I was truly serving them, not trying to figure out how to serve you long enough to ask you to host a party, right? So it was a way that I had a way to figure out what would be something they might need or want. I can create a blog post about that, and then I can send them the link. Now, this was when I was flexing those muscles. We didn't yet really use Facebook in any grand way. So it was a short-lived step back into the field, startup routine, and then back to consulting. So what I would do today with that is I would do exactly what I said. I probably would send it via a Facebook Messenger if I was connected with them on Messenger. But that same blog article, I would post on my page. If I had a VIP group and let's say that product was on like special this month, I'd post it in my VIP group, and it would be a way to get them to be like, oh my gosh, I want to try those recipes. Whoa, it's on special this month? Awesome. So it's a way to connect all the stuff that we're doing in just a very simple way. So the first blog post is one that serves your current customers. So here are just a few other ideas. Think of, remember the 3 categories: inspire, instruct, or inform. So my recipe idea was really instruction, but you might do testimonials or a how-to or a demo. So if you have a product that really lends itself to, like, it comes out of the package, let me show you now what to do with it. A demo by you plunked into a blog article, brilliant, right?
So, and like step 1, step 2.
Exactly. And now imagine you've also put it over there on Facebook. So, on Facebook and also over there on YouTube, and you just grabbed the embed code. Don't worry about how to, just go like, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Grab the embed code. Now you put it in here into your article. So people can find it over there on YouTube. They can happen upon it. So you're using the same content to serve your customers as you are to try to attract new customers. Because then you get smart about what you write in your description on YouTube and where you put a link so that they can click over to learn more about you and all the things that we can make sure that you learn how to do. But it's connecting it all together. And so when I talk about like your digital presence or your online presence, imagine your business is like a bucket. Right now, 99.9% of direct sellers have holes all in their bucket. So they're doing all this stuff to fill the bucket, but some of it's like leaking out the bottom. And when you shore up your online presence and then add to it, and you make sure every time somebody finds something about you, it connects back to you, you make sure that you're keeping all that business that you work so hard to create, which is, Royana said, there you are, embedding things again. That's funny.
I just put that up on the screen. I thought that it was hysterical.
That's funny. Well, because I would say that's the hardest thing for anybody to figure out is like, well, where do I grab that code? We can show you where you find that code. It's not like YouTube keeps it secret. They just hide it, which I guess makes it a little bit of a secret.
So this is really, I feel like this is so intuitive to what direct sellers are already doing. You know, when we're doing, whether it's a Facebook party or a home party, this is what we're doing anyway. It's just taking that content you've already created.
Yep. So, okay, let's use Brianna for an example, because I know that she sells books. So I am sure if we put her on the spot, which we're not going to do right now. So Brianna, you don't have to answer this question. That's a hypothetical though, because it's a good example of you sell a concrete product. I am sure if I said to you, I have a toddler who loves for me to read to her, what are the top 5 books you think every toddler should read from your collection? That's a blog article. Yeah. So now when somebody's exploring, whether they're exploring your profile on the National Direct Selling Registry, or they're on your page on Facebook, or you're just chatting with somebody at the library and you're like, oh my gosh, you haven't read these 5. Let me send you the link. What's your phone number? I'll text it right to you right now, so that you always have something to serve people with. And the first blog article is the hardest one. And then you'll start hearing in conversations, you'll be like, oh, that's a blog article. And so, you can just do what I send myself Facebook messages all day long. just with the, any idea I think of, whether I'm on Facebook or I'm on text message, I just send myself a message so that I have an ongoing list of all my ideas because they come up in every single conversation. You might be talking with somebody. Well, let's get to our second one. So our second post.
I'm reminding them to type webinar if they want to learn more. For those of you that really do want to start a blog this summer, because a couple of people have already been doing that. So.
Okay, that's awesome. So our second blog post that every direct seller needs to make is either one that serves your hosts or serves your most loyal advocates. So if you're not in Party Plan, think of a host is somebody who brings us into their environment and invites all their friends. So they're a really fierce advocate, whether they know it or not when they embark on doing it. So if you're not in Party Plan, the same concept applies with your customers who then become your best referrals, right? So just think of it in terms of the people out there who you already do business with, who want to share what you have with other people. So if we take hosting very literally, I mean, this again ties to what your personality type is. So mine would be very steppy. So like, the 5 tips to host the best party, or, 6 simple things to make sure your Facebook party is awesome. But then other people are way more fun than I am. And they might be like the 3 best cocktails every host should know about. I mean, just think of the gap between those 2 types of content. Some to inspire, some to inform, some to instruct. But think of something that you either A, always wish your hosts knew or paid attention to, or something that would be fun for them to know, or that would make it, something you want them to think about at the last minute, like 3 days before your party, these are the 3 things you need to do right now. Call each of your people to remind them, do this, do that, right? Or these are the things don't do. Don't worry about dusting. Don't worry about, you can make a blog post be very serious and informative, or really light and, funny to read and shareable. So the idea is that it adds huge value for that host. It gives you something to give to them. Even if your company has a company graphic that is the 5 steps to hosting the best party, as long as you have company permission to embed that graphic in something else to deliver it in a different way, then you don't have to recreate the wheel. You're just repackaging the wheel. And this idea is how you stay out of Facebook jail. When you take what your company has given you permission to use, the graphics and the tools and the strategies that are like duplicatable. So a graphic that you can download and upload, or a video that's on YouTube that you can embed. When you have permission to use those things and you put them into your own article, you now are asserting yourself as that authority and the one with whom they do business without spending a whole lot of extra time. And, that's something, if I were a leader, I would spend maybe, 20 minutes a team meeting talking about some smart digital things to do, and then conversely, smart digital things not to do. So that you're helping, because what we know is everyone's struggling to figure this all out. And if you don't have a way or a plan, well, then you flail about and nothing gets done really well. And then you start to copy folks who you think, well, they must be doing it right. And unfortunately, a lot of the times when we copy other people, that's when we're wasting time, we're spending time. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, this just makes, I think, your job as a direct seller so much easier, because how many times have we told hostesses exactly what they need to do to have a successful party, right? If you had blog posts about that, this is just so simple. It's rinse and repeat. You can even, schedule it into your group or. Exactly.
It's your link. Anywhere. And it's tied back to you. And so, for those of you who sell products where you really have developed an expertise around your product, maybe your blog post will be way more in the informative, angle of things. But for those of you who are just getting started out and you're like, I don't even know my customers yet because I don't even have very many of them. Well, think about what were the questions you had when you opened up your starter kit, which leads us to the next one. So the third blog post every direct seller needs to create is a blog post that is geared to your new team members. So even if you've never recruited anybody yet, Create the blog post. Make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. Say, this is the blog post I'm creating for my first recruit. And what would you want that person to know? Well, this is wide open. So it might be a product demo. It might be the 3 extra products that you should go and get right away, because if you don't, you're going to have the most miserable experience ever because you'll wish you had them. And then 4 weeks later, you'll realize you should have had them. That's not a good blog title. You can probably keep it to about 60 characters, but
the longest blog title ever.
I know. In the brainstorming process, right? You have to, sometimes things have to get thrown on the floor before you realize that you have a good one there. But think about those new team members. What are things that you want them to know? So think inspiration, information, and instruction. So for some, it might be, okay, this would be one I could write. Why I almost quit my direct selling business, and the 3 things I learned about myself because I didn't. Okay, again, I just made that one up on the fly. It's not on my little piece of paper here. But right, so now, imagine you have a growing team, you don't know who's at the point of which they're thinking, today, I think I'm ready to give up. And they never heard your story that you almost gave up. That could be a really powerful blog post for you to have and to be able to share with people. So in that coaching relationship, you get that inkling that somebody is thinking about, maybe I'll find something else to do. That's a perfect one for you to share with them. It's also a perfect one that they could happen upon. So there's a way that when you're cross-pollinating in different areas, you're able to serve your current team members and also attract new ones. So maybe for you, it's the, 5 reasons why I think every person needs to join a direct selling company. Great. So that's sort of a generic, right? I mean, we could build that one.
Yeah. Olga's saying 10 ways to get started successfully.
There you go.
That kind of covers both sponsoring and new consultants.
And then here, Olga, here's my idea with that one. So when you come up with one like that and you start to write it out, if you start to think, oh, shoot, this is more like a whole training, then break it into smaller pieces so that you could have the main blog post, but then you could have, 3 smaller blog posts that all tie in together so that one brainstorming session is really useful in lots of different ways. You could have one blog post that is geared towards sharing with your team members. That's your why. So you're sharing it with your current team members so they can hear your story and feel compelled to create their own. And now it's a way to go attract other people as well. Because we know people want to consume what you're offering. If you're doing live video, they're watching it. They may not be telling you they're watching it, but they're watching it. And so if you create these blog posts and you share them, it's a really soft way also to get the attention of your friends who, may not want to hear about another company special this month, but if you published a blog post, they're going to be curious to read what you had to say. It's just human nature. It's human nature. Here's another one. 5 reasons that it would be smart to start with a friend. We all tell people who are new, the smartest thing you can do is go find somebody to recruit right away. But that sounds like cold. But if we turn around and go, well, what are the benefits of that? Well, because then you have a partner in crime, and then you get to do this, and then you're learning, you can come up with all the reasons. Or if you did start with a friend, then yours can be way more personal than that. Why starting with my best friend was the smartest thing we ever did. Again, there's not a perfect title, but you can write an article and then tweak your title. You can write an article and go back and change your title. But the idea is that if you think of inspiring, instructing, informing, and focusing on types of audiences, customers, hosts, or loyal advocates, and your team members, then the same content you create to serve those people will also attract new people. And that's the whole point of it.
So smart. So smart. I'm going to throw this comment up for everybody that just jumped in. Melissa's asking, and I want you to recap this. What are the platforms that you recommend?
Yep. Okay.
For a blog, because you have some great solutions for that.
Okay. So Melissa, if we were not sitting here after 4 years of my tech team creating you a blogging platform, I would have said really the only solution was a WordPress blog, which is really a website. And think of the heaviness that comes with that. So I know Lynn has a blog and a website and people who can manage that for her. I have several blogs and several websites. and an entire digital team of geniuses who can manage that stuff. And I know how to code. I mean, and it still is heavy. Like it still is like you go to do something and you're like, why is that not working? And, it's like, it was working yesterday. And so if you were going to have your own hosted on your own URL, I would say, don't choose anything other than a WordPress blog, like a full-fledged WordPress blog. But that's going to cost you probably somewhere between, $2,000 and $10,000 to get created, depending on how nice it is and what bells and whistles it has.
And how techy you are.
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
Like ground running, start watching today.
Exactly. And then monthly, the monthly maintenance is in the hundreds. I mean, because it's all that stuff you don't know about until you're in it. And then you're like, oh, well, who's going to take care of that? Oh, I have to pay somebody to do that. Yeah. So that's the bad answer. But that's why 4 years ago, I saw this coming and I said, you know what? Somebody's got to create a platform for direct sellers to have their own profile. So think of it as your own digital business card with an outward facing, all about you, but then the ability to add in a blogging platform to it. And so that's what we just launched, the National Direct Selling Registry. We launched April 1st to our early adopters and May 1st to the regular public in 5 countries. So depending on where you're watching, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. And what it is, and you can go there. I don't know if we can put it up there, but it's a simple URL. It's ndsr.me, so National Direct Selling Registry.me. And in less than a month, I'm not going to say next week because then it won't happen, but in less than a month, we're rolling out our blogging platform that all of our members who are, let's call them paid members, National, Global, or Patriot members, get this built-in blogging platform, and where literally you'll click a button that says add an article, and it has all the fields for you to think about, and then the section in the middle where you write your content.
I'm back.
There you are. Yay!
I was adding the link. I just got a new Mac and it is so sensitive. I was adding the link to the directory and all of a sudden I was gone. I don't know what happened.
All right. That's awesome.
I'm back.
I was like, then we're gone. Okay. So I'm not sure where I was, but on our National Direct Selling Registry platform, you can publish your own blog posts, and we designed it so basically, you fill in fields for the key stuff that's the search engine optimization title and all that. And then you have this section that's think of it as a fancy Word document that you can write out your blog post, add your videos. If you want it centered, you just click the little thing that is intuitively center, drag it to make it bigger. So it's really designed to be as simplified as possible. And then you get our support so that you're not out there figuring this out on your own. And what it does is it shows up in your profile on your little blog tab, so that there are literal pages that you can go and share those links. You can upload them or post them to Facebook. You can, share them all across social media. You can schedule them in scheduling software. And then you have the ability to have those blog posts searched, obviously through search engine optimization in Google or wherever else. But then also on our platform, we'll roll out a really robust search engine on the platform. So let's say somebody is curious about tips for host coaching, they can come find your article on that. So it's designed to not only help you drive business to you, but to help people come upon you as an expert in your own right. And that's a way that, we know people shop for sponsors, and it's just one more layer in the process of elevating you and what you do to a really professional level, but in a really simple way. So how many, blog articles should you post in your lifetime? If all you ever did were these 3 and you just really thought through what are the 3 things that people are going to that's going to make people really be excited to come and read this article, you may never have to post another one again. But once you do that and you start seeing people reacting to them, well, then you'll probably want to post a few more.
We'll keep going.
Exactly.
So when people get to the National Direct Selling Registry.
Yep.
Okay, so let's say people are searching and your blog comes up. Yep. Is it its own link that they just click to and they can read it?
Yep. So imagine it's like a normal blog post that has a title and an image and then your article and your byline at the bottom of it. So it has like your picture and your name, and it's hot linked to your profile so that it's all designed to drive that business back to you. And then, has a sidebar with a few things on it for finding other articles and such. Okay. But yeah, it's its own separate link. And, just think anything that you might want to add in, we're working on adding in. So some of the things that won't roll out at the minute one will be like lead capture forms and things like that. So, as we're going and we start to see smart marketing trends, we'll be adding in those features that you and I know would be expensive to add into our own blog. But when we're doing it across a platform and we have our own team of in-house developers, it's fun. So we're starting out with just the basic blog in its, let's call it in its, inherent format so that you can get good at creating a few blog posts and sharing them with people. And then we'll add on layers to that with all the bells and the whistles that go with that.
It's so smart because, here's what I find, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. After 27 years in direct sales, obviously a nice, big, hearty customer base.
Yeah.
And you would think that when they're ready to shop, they have my website bookmarked. At least. But they don't. And yet, they have all my contact information. I know they even have it in their phone.
Yep.
And I will get a confirmation that somebody shopped my website, and I will find out that they went through the corporate site.
Yeah. And they were just committed to finding you.
And thank goodness.
Yeah.
That finally connected to me. But so when people are ready to shop, they don't look you up.
And here's an interesting, just like one little simple thought process. Let's say it's the fall season and you come up with, my first article for customers are going to be the 5 best gifts to give this holiday season. And there are, of course, 5 gifts out of your catalog. And let's say your company allows you to link to the product. Well, so now you have your 5 gifts. You have an image of each one, a little blurb about it. You might even have done a little video, right, that you embedded somewhere in it, but don't not produce a blog if the video part scares you. Do that for the second one. But now you can have a little button that says, I want this, and it clicks over to your shopping cart. So it's just tying it all together so that you're piquing curiosity. You're saying, hey, I want you to buy something, but you're packaging it in a way that is customer service minded, that we get more customers through serving people. And when you think about it from their perspective, if I got here are the 5 best things like grandpa and mom and this and that and the other, and I could just click and buy and click and buy and click and buy and click and buy, you just solved my problems. I didn't have to read the article and then go find your website and then go find this, go find that. Now, some companies, their links are harder to finagle. But again, that's one of my challenges is I have to help you figure out, can you literally link to your shopping cart? And most company, we can hack most companies' URLs to help you figure out what's the convention to get you to that shopping cart page. But at least get them as close to the purchase as possible so that we're always driving business back to you. So that inspiring, informing, instructing, and closing the sale. Getting the person to sign up.
I'm putting that up there one more time, Becky. Becky, recap that for you. So thank you, Becky.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Becky. Becky's a good student. Thank you.
And Lauren is also saying, Lauren Godlitz said she already signed up for the registry.
Awesome.
She's a member of Steve Wiltshire. She's getting you've got to invest in yourselves, ladies. I mean, I always, as a direct sales leader, I would always say, women spend more on their outside of their head, meaning our hair. Not that Laurie and I are both not natural blondes.
What are you saying? I'm most certainly not.
if you watch this today compared to the one with Karen Clark yesterday, suddenly my roots are gone. I don't know where I was today.
Oh, that's funny.
But, be willing to spend at least on the inside of your brain what you're spending on the outside of your head.
And then the key is this gets really exciting because you start to, that's why, I have lists upon lists of ideas, but I never have to, once we launch this, you're going to run with it because the ideas are endless. And what I just want to say is your job is not to just become a blogger, though, because that's fun, right? It's the new shiny object. Your job is to figure out what are the 3 smartest ones I can produce first, and then go in, get more customers and share them with those customers and watch the success come more easily. Watch the follow-up. As a leader, the hardest thing was to get people to follow up. So they booked those first 4 parties, then they went and did them, and then they sat back and were like, now what? It's like, no, now you have to follow up and follow through. With your own blog, you can make follow up and follow through much more simplified and also feel more giving. And when I feel like I'm giving something to you as my customer, that what I've spent obsessing over my knowledge and my learning and all the exciting things I have that I learned, it's much easier for me to reach out when I say, well, Lynn, I know you were so excited about whatever, XYZ. Here's a little link. I thought you might be interested in this article that I just wrote because it features that product. Or I heard you talking about the ball field, and here's a little article I wrote about, how I work my business in between ballet and gymnastics. And, so you'll be able to come up with lots of really creative ideas. And now you just have to have a platform to do it. And that's why we built it. So.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So smart. It's already, we've already been here for like 50 minutes. Can you believe it? I feel like we just started talking.
I know. But I can't do a half an hour. I don't know how to do that.
Trust me, I am just as bad. So thank you so much for your time. I know a lot of people have requested to get a webinar about this. And so Laurie will definitely follow up with everybody. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you type replay so we know you're here. We know. And again, if you're on the replay, even if it's 6 months from now or a year from now, I'm sure Laurie will have that webinar ready to go. I'm just checking the comments there. Laura's saying the blog makes so much sense now. It's like, I finally get it. So, Laurie, where can we put the link to the registry? How much does it cost to join the registry? I was in on the early adopter program because I thought it was so smart, but now it's launched, so I don't even know myself.
It's cheap. Let's just call it what it is. We're in our launch phase, so it's everyone who joins is locking in at 50% off of what our normal pricing is expected to be. So as a national member, it's $30 a quarter, so $10 a month. And for a global member, it's $45 a quarter, so $15 a month. And, it's a subscription that can be closed at any time. So it's not like you're locking in. We don't have a yearly thing. If it fits your business, it's smart to stay with it. We have a local membership that's free, but that doesn't come with all these bells and whistles we're talking about. So when we set out to build it, my thought process was every direct seller who's a hobbyist should be at least a local, but anybody who wants to earn at least a paycheck should be at least a national. So national is I do business in one country. Global is I can sell or recruit in more than one country. So that then they get access to all the countries.
And compared to what it costs to start a WordPress site, unless you can do all that techie stuff, I know you really need to hire somebody to do that for you. I do at least.
Exactly. Well, and I know how to do it, and I still do because there's just not enough time for everything.
And where else can people find you? So tell everybody where your Facebook page is and
so So the easiest thing to do, well, first of all, is I think you listed me here somewhere as a hot link, and on my Facebook profile, I have both of my business pages listed. So directselling.me is the business page that is like, let's call it the parent over the National Direct Selling Registry and our e-learning site and some other smaller things that'll come out later in the future. And then I have my sort of my own consulting group site that is under Laurie Girardi. So pretty much anything you click on, it'll drive business back to me. But what I would do is I would go to the ndsr.me site and join us. And then you'll get a email back with, any which way you want to contact us. And then the one thing that I do want to say is Facebook Messenger in what we do is, I would say, the smartest and best place to connect with us, with my company, on the directselling.me messenger. I'll add that link in the comments, or Lynn, maybe you can in the description, that anybody who has a question, because if you don't now yet know how to get your messenger link, you can have a hot link, like a literal http://m.me and then a / and your Facebook either page or profile username, and that clicks and opens up Messenger for people. And one of the things that we know that's coming down the pike is if somebody has messaged you on Messenger or on your business page, then you're able to send a broadcast message out to them at a later date. So, the getting people to message you on Messenger is a smart thing to do as you look forward to in the future of our businesses, because Facebook is trying to harness the communication. It's a smart place to be.
They are taking over everything. Yeah. I mean, I can really see Messenger being the new email.
It is. I'm in the process of testing out all the different chatbot programs to figure out which, because you got to pick a lane and stick with it. And there's some pretty nifty things that can be done. So let's can I have 1 more minute to tell about this super exciting thing that I think, imagine you're standing at a party and you're like, I would love to connect with all of you. Here's my Facebook page, or here's my National Direct Selling Registry profile, and click here on Messenger, and up pops your 3 articles. You can use Messenger as a mini portal into everything that you do. And one of the things that we've built into the National Direct Selling Registry into your profile is the ability to have a 1-click link to Messenger, so that you can start gearing people to connect with you in the best way possible for you. And I would say, if I was a betting girl, Facebook Messenger on your business page would be the one to focus on.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'm all about it.
Thank you so much for having me here tonight. This was so much fun.
Thank you for your expertise. So we have 2 tips left. Don't forget to go into our event tab, check out the other success tips. We've had Karen Clark. She was our guest expert yesterday. Awesome tips about Facebook marketing for direct sellers and direct sales leaders. Tomorrow we've got Michelle Withers is going to be sharing some great money-making messages, talking about Messenger. She's going to be sharing exactly how to have those conversations to get more yeses when you're messaging people. And Melanie Parker is going to be our final guest speaker, and then we'll do a little recap on Friday. So thank you, everybody. We appreciate you.
I have one thing. Can I say one more thing? As long as you tell us either Lynn or Laurie sent you when you join the National Direct Selling Registry, either of us, spell it any way you want. I'll make sure that you get 2 free bonus courses too, because we didn't have that as part of our special, but we'll make sure that you get them, because why not? Because that's why we do this. So, so if you join and put either Lynn or Laurie, we'll make sure you get the bonus courses as well.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. We'll make sure we go back and check the comments. If we missed anybody, Laurie, somehow you froze.
I
can hear you, but you're like,
oh, but at least I froze looking okay.
You look really cute. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow with another tip. Thanks, everyone.
Right. Bye.